Hello, my name is Zach Gilliland, and I'm a student in IL 612 Planning and Managing Facilities course for Dr. Billy Jenkins at Jacksonville State University. And this is my presentation for our school renovation or addition. And I chose to do an addition to one of our feeder elementary schools. I had a couple of colleagues that I work with that did renovations for our school. I work at Sardis High School. But I chose to do Whitesboro Elementary to kind of change that up just a little bit and do something different. And I think it's a good school to choose for that type project because it's outdated and has a lot of modular classrooms on campus. For the sake of lighting, I've tried to set my camera up and get lighting fixed. But whenever there's a slide that I think needs a little more detail or explanation, I will be in and out of the frame turning the classroom lights off. But again, it's for Whitesboro Elementary School in northern Etowah County, and we're going to do a renovation to that school. The purpose of this renovation is basically to replace the existing mobile units that they have on campus. Now they went from 2 to 4 to 6 in the last handful of years. So currently they have 6 modular units on campus, and we're going to replace those with a new classroom addition, and we're going to add a couple other pieces into that addition as well. We're trying to accommodate roughly 80 students with this renovation. We're going to add a total of 4 regular ed classrooms, 2 4th grade classrooms, and 2 5th grade classrooms for a total of 80 students. There will be 4 regular ed teachers. There will also be a resource room in this wing as well. All right, this is an aerial image, and I'm going to step out and turn the light off. But this is an aerial photograph of the school of Whitesboro. And it's a very dated building. It's a 1970s building. This is the main entry point of the school right here. And it's got 2 wings now, this wing here and this wing right here. This is an addition that had been completed several years ago as well. It was not part of the original build. This is a pre-K and kindergarten wing. This is their gymnasium. There is their lunchroom. And right here, if you can see, this is a set of double door entry, or exit actually, going to these modular units. Now when this particular aerial image was taken, there were only 4 units, 1, 2, 3, and 4. There have since been 2 more added right here. So there is a total of 6 units at this location that we're going to put our renovation in this space right here. I zoomed in and tightened the photograph up just a little bit here. This is sort of a general layout of what the shape will be. It's going to be a little over 6,000 square foot. If you can see those numbers there, 6,000 square feet roughly. A total perimeter of just over 400 foot. So it's a fairly large renovation. The property line runs northeast right up through behind that box. And this neighboring property, it comes down through here, so there is room to tuck this in right here, and it will lie fairly close to the property lines, but it will stay on the same parcel owned by Etowah County Board of Education. This particular slide here is just the overall design footprint. Now we're coming out of that existing building that I showed you just a moment ago. So we're coming out right here, and there's a sidewalk. This is that sidewalk. We'll have double doors leading into the building. These will be magnetic secured with locks right here going in and out of the new building, as well as the double doors going into the existing building. And once you get in here, you've got a main hallway running right here that branches left and branches right. There will be egress to all 4 sides so that you can get out in the event of a hostile situation or in the event of a fire. So there is egress in multiple locations. When you go down the main hall and hang to the left, there are 4 classrooms. That's where our 4 main regular ed classrooms are going to be located. Right here, it's the resource room will be added as an extension off the back wall of this property. Now this is, like I said, this is getting fairly close to the property line, but it is sustainable to get this placed and put in there in that area. We're going to add one set of student restrooms right here, boys and girls, because in the entire main building, kindergarten through the 4th grade up to this point has shared 2 sets of restrooms. There are no faculty restrooms in the main building. They have to share those with the students. So there is going to be an extra set of boys and girls restrooms in this wing. This will prevent any student from having to go back into the main building into the regular restrooms that already exist. There will be a janitorial closet, a main storage closet, a faculty workroom in this area. The faculty workroom is something that doesn't exist anywhere else in the entire school. It's badly needed. There will be, this is more or less a lounge, microwaves, refrigerators to store your lunch, heat your lunch, maybe a couch in there for some seating during your planning period if you're in there running copies or anything of that nature. And there will be a separate men's and women's faculty restroom in that building or in that room as well. Now, for a new renovation like this, I chose to design some kind of piece that had that draws you to it, to create that focal point for this new renovation. Now that particular area here is going to be off the northeast corner of this wing. I don't know if you can see it there, but that's a library. We're moving the library out here and we're going to reutilize the existing library and turn it into a computer lab. This library will be state-of-the-art. It has this rounded exterior shape to it. It is rounded on this side. This is the hallway circles these restrooms right here. Okay? And this right here, one of the main things or main design points that this library is going to have is basically 360 degrees around this is going to be floor to ceiling glass. It will have glass natural lighting all the way throughout. Interior will be regular glass. Kids in the hallway can see into the library. Kids in the library can see out into the hallway. Additionally, I'm going to put a water fountain. I'm not speaking of a water fountain that students get a drink from, but I'm talking more or less a focal point, a water fountain that will have just cascading water right there in that area, right in front of that library. Now we're going to talk a little more about the library design in a moment. Additionally, the only thing I've not spoken about yet will be outside in between this resource room and the library. On the exterior of the school, you've got egress right there. There will be a sidewalk leading to a sensory garden in this particular area of the school. This sensory garden will be there to fulfill the adaptive needs of any special population groups, kids that have disabilities, kids that have some kind of disorder where they need to unleash, unwind. There will be a sensory garden there for those students. Part of the library will have seating in it, and we'll talk more about that in a moment, to look out over this sensory garden as well, since we have 360 degrees of glass around this library. Aesthetically, I'll turn the light back on for just a moment. Aesthetically, we do not want this building to match the current building, because the current building is so outdated. So we're going to look for a modern exterior, try to make this look as new as possible, as 21st century as possible. We're thinking forward here. We'll have a brick exterior, as does the old building, but we'll go with a more modern look. Standing seam metal roof on top of this building. Have a lot of natural lighting. Put as many large windows in classrooms that we can on the exterior walls. We'll have energy efficient LED lighting throughout. The whole entire wing will be fully integrated with Wi-Fi in each individual classroom. Each room will have its own HVAC units for heating and cooling purposes, and there will be tile flooring throughout the building. This is the focal point back to the library. We're going to go into a little more detail on the library itself. This is an example of what the interior rounded shape that this library is going to have. A lot of natural light. This light obviously is coming in from the hallway. Floor to ceiling glass, 360 degrees around. It's just sort of like some of your modern day condominium units at the beach that'll have that floor to ceiling glass that allow tons of natural light to come into the building. Now again, this is off this slide right here. This is sort of the area I'm speaking about. Right there, the entryway. This hallway comes right through here and goes by those student restrooms. So that's that hallway right there. The only difference from this photograph from what I've got in the design point is that this area, when you approach this, will have 2 automatic sliding doors that will obviously be glass. Let's look at the library a little closer in detail. This is my drawing or a sketch of the library. Again, the sensory garden is in between the resource room and the library, so this is an exterior wall right through there. There's the sensory garden. We're going to put some sectional seating in this particular piece of the library, excuse me, in this part of the library to provide students with an area for small group, for seating purposes, to look out through those floor-to-ceiling glass over this area of the library. So they're looking out over these couches are facing the sensory garden and those glass walls. Now, for safety purposes, this is fenced in. This is going to be sort of incorporated with the existing playground. But this glass out here, all of this glass surrounding the building is specialty tinted glass that the students can see out from the inside, so you can see through it. But anybody on the exterior of the building cannot see into this particular area. Now this glass here, it will obviously have no specialty tinting because it's in the interior hallway of the school. You've got 2 main sections of books. These are fairly large sections. They're right here and right here. Once you walk in those double sliding doors, you have those couches to the left and the main circulation desk right here in the center. Behind that circulation desk, right in the center, sort of the center of the entire library, is a computer area. This is a horseshoe-shaped set of desks that have PCs on them. There will be approximately 20 computers right here, so a teacher could bring an entire class in to work on some group assignments, so they can pair it up on computers. Individuals can access this. This is almost an additional computer lab. In behind that computer area, we've got more sectional seating. These are 2 sectionals facing one another with a little coffee table in the center. There are 2 sets of those there. That's for small groups, individuals to sit and read if they happen to have an aid period or have an opportunity to attend the library during the classroom day or the regular school day. And then behind those, we've got 3 tables. These tables will be the same deal. Students need to study, they need to work on something small group, anything of that nature, they can sit at these tables. And then I've got a smaller area for some of the younger students that is just a large rug in the floor with bean bags, sort of a reading zone, or a zone where these kids can unwind and kind of relax during the school day if they have that opportunity. So this is the library design. This is the focal point of the entire project. Classroom design, if you notice in the drawing, there's 4 classrooms in that 6,000 square foot area. These are going to be large classrooms, roughly the size 32 by 32, a little bit larger than a traditional classroom. On the entry point in the corner of the classroom, there will be a main instructional area up front, and all the desks are going to be sitting here. And I've got a photograph I'm going to show you of the desk that we're going to try to acquire for this project, and they'll be on wheels that can be moved and easily relocated for small group, large group, different type seating arrangements or whatever. But this will be the main instructional area of the classroom. There will be a regular whiteboard here. There will be 2 interactive whiteboards on each side wall. There will be 2 sectionals in each classroom for large group or for smaller group instruction than an entire class, but a large small group where these students can sit here and work on their assignments. We've got individual learning areas in the back. These will be small tables or bean bags depending on the grade level. And like I said, these are 4th and 5th grade levels, so that'll be sort of at the teacher's discretion. And this was, like I said, tried to get an open, airy classroom to where there's plenty of room to move around and have 2 or 3 different types of instruction or classwork or preparation for something going on at one time. I've got multiple windows down these walls. That's what these little these little short lines are. We're going to try to allow as much natural lighting in as possible. There are some pretty agricultural fields that surround the eastern side of this school as well to the north. So there are some pretty good viewpoints that can be attained by allowing as much natural light in as possible. Each features, or the classroom features, each classroom will feature modernized desk for traditional instruction. We'll have the sectional seating I mentioned for large group instruction. We'll have nook seating for small groups. We'll have projection equipment to deliver instruction. We'll have many windows, and as I mentioned earlier, these rooms are going to be fully Wi-Fi capable for our BYOD, bring your own device policy that the Etowah County school system allows. Here's an example of our desks. Notice that they're on wheels and are easily moved. They've got tablet holders on the front of them. They're small workspaces that could easily be altered instead of dragging a large traditional desk around the classroom like you can see right here in my room. These particular desks will be more easily moved by these younger students. Sectional seating, this is something I'm talking about, something that, you know, Wayfair has come out with tremendous amounts of classroom furniture for the educational environment. There will be something on there that we can choose to use for our sectional seating in our classroom, in our library, which is our focal point, all these various areas for students to sit. This comfortable environment, try to create a conducive or a learning environment that's very conducive to learning and comfortable for our 21st century students. Small group seating, you know, some small tables coupled together, something of this nature. You know, like I said, that could be up to the teacher's discretion as well, how they want to handle their small nooks for their small group instruction. Additional areas. We'll have a faculty lounge, which I showed you in the blueprint, with restrooms. There will be a set of student restrooms, which I've shown you. There will be a janitorial and a storage closet, and there will be that exterior sensory garden. All of this will be incorporated into this project. There's an example of a sensory garden for a student. He's got these windpipes so that he can, you know, chime the windpipes to get different sound effects off there. There's a range of color with flower beds. We're going to put in some pergolas that will have swings on them, and each post of the pergola will have some type of different sensory reaction device on it. There will be raised beds. There will be all sorts of color, trying to attract butterflies, things of that nature, as well as having some physical objects such as these windpipes incorporated into this entire sensory garden that will be viewable and easily viewable from the library, yet easily accessible from the resource room where some of these students may spend parts of their day. Accessibility and safety. It will have the same accessibility measures as the modular units. We'll use the same double doors coming from the existing building. The same sidewalk will lead into this new wing. Each classroom will have magnetic locking mechanisms as well as every door of egress going to the building. Now, if a student needs to go into the main building during the school day, he will have to buzz in by surveillance to the front office. Buzz in by video surveillance right there. So he'll knock on the door or hit the buzzer. He'll have to show himself to the person who's on the other end. They will allow him in or out. Teachers, if they need to go into the main building, which they'll go in for lunch or whatever, key fob access for them. They'll be able to buzz into the main building. Will be 21st century fire suppression equipment, fire extinguishers on each hallway, sprinkler system or suppression system put in place in the building. And these 4 classrooms will be tornado safe zones. They will have metal locking windows that will close each window. They will be able to lock off that main hallway by double solid steel doors, as well as having poured concrete walls and a concrete top over these walls, which is a trend that I've seen come in some of our existing schools in the area. Our new middle school, which is about 4 years old, has a tornado safe zone. And where we're going to locate that in this particular building will be where the majority of our students are, in that main classroom area on the west wing, which I'll try to get us back to it right here and show you. My computer's a little bit sluggish. In that picture there, this will have a set of double doors. This will be solid steel doors. Each of these windows will close. They'll have a steel cover over these windows. And all of these walls here are solid concrete walls with solid concrete tops. That will be a tornado safe zone. Let me get back to where we were. Again, I apologize for my technology being a little sluggish. That's all I have for my presentation. Are there any questions? Thank you.